Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with Sean, everyone. This afternoon, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Davion, and we're going to be discussing mental health, which, as we all know, is very important in today's world. It's always been important, but I think there was a stigma attached to it in the past where people actually kind of hid from their mental health or not even kind of brushed things under the rug. And now, the world we live in today, people are actually starting to speak out. And so, I'm actually very, very glad that the younger generation has even made my generation start to speak out, especially in the Black community. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today, Davion. I really appreciate you accepting my invite.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Before I even ask my first question, I have to let you know that I love it when I see my brown man being vulnerable enough to say that I have mental health issues because I think that I know that Black men have been made to feel as if they have to have it all together. If you show a vulnerability, then that means you're weak. You're made to feel a certain kind of way if you cry or show any type of emotion. So when I see men like you do what you're doing and admitting and acknowledging that you have mental health issues, I feel it necessary to commend you. So I'm very proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Well, I think that acknowledging when you have mental health issues also helps when you have children because you're bringing up the next little you. So I commend you for that as well when it comes to your baby. You have a girl or a boy?
I have three kids. I have two girls and I have a boy.
Exactly. And no matter what way we look at it when it comes to a young lady, they need a father and a man in their life, that first man in their life, to let them know that it's okay for your man to be vulnerable. And then for a man, you're bringing up a young man, he definitely needs to know that it's okay to be vulnerable as well so that he can make sure that he's good for his wife. When did you start to notice that you had mental health issues?
I was in the third grade, Sean. I was like about 8 years old. And for some reason I was just like in school and I was always getting suspended because I was saying things like I wanna die. I was saying things like I wish I could stick my hand out the school bus and my arm get hit by a tree. Little dumb things like that. And that's when I knew then I was different. You know what I mean? I knew then that I had something going on.
Mhm.
Um, my mom, she put me in different counseling and different therapy as a kid. Um, she tried a lot of medicine, you know what I mean? A lot of medicine that the doctors was prescribing, and I didn't like it. It made me feel like a zombie. As a kid, it made me feel different. I was always complaining, like, Mom, why am I taking medicine and other kids are normal? You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I just, I just wanted to be normal, So I could say for a long time, you know what I mean? I've been having mental issues.
That's amazing. Like in like the third grade, that's a very young age. And a lot of people can take situations like you doing that as a child needing attention or just showing off and not realizing that there could possibly, and in your case was or is, a mental health issue. And I'm actually glad that your mother actually noticed it or you went to her and she did what it took as a parent to make sure that you started to get therapy because some parents are like, they sweep stuff under the rug and they feel like you need attention or you're just acting out. So
Yeah,
of
for
course
sure.
there may be some acting out because you don't at that age you don't really know what's wrong. You just know there's something. You
Yeah.
don't know how to, articulate what it really may be. And I'm sorry you had to even experience that. So what meds were you on, if you can remember back? And today, since
Um,
since you're grown dealing with that, do you advocate medication, or do you feel like you don't want to be on meds and you kind of use your weed as your medication?
I would say as a kid, I don't remember, but I know it was one medicine that she had me on, and I was acting out in school a lot, and I was acting out, but every time before school, I would have to take this medicine. And literally, I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't drink, I would go to school and just do my work. And then I would come home and look at the TV, and I was just like a zombie. I wouldn't do nothing. And my grandma was like, Tiffany, you gotta take him off this medicine ASAP. We not doing this. You know what I mean? And I don't remember that name, but as I started getting older, like, I started to, you know what I mean, dibble and dabble with different medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I was living out in Houston, they gave me Celexa, you know what I mean? And I was taking that for some years. And then after like when I turned 18, I went to prison in Minnesota. And I found out I felt like that didn't work, So then I started taking martazepine. That's an antidepressant. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? The side effects is just give you like hunger, a bigger appetite than usual, and then it makes you sleep. I like that. I'm currently taking that. I'm currently, as you see, I'm smoking weed. I have a medical card,
Mm-hmm.
because it's legal out here in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I smoked weed just to numb it up. You know what I mean? Numb my depression, numb my anxiety, whatever I'm feeling. I just smoke that just to patch it up. You know what I mean? But I'm um I'm trying to find me a different coping mechanism. You know what I mean? Like the gym. You know what I mean? To help with my mental health. You feel me? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the weed don't help. You know what I mean? If anybody watching this and you see me smoking this, it's not helping. You know what I mean? It make you more depressed. I'm gonna say that right now.
I'm
And
glad you said that.
it make you more depressed. So your best bet is just to go ahead and get you some type of medication that you feel that fits you. I was taking trazodone, but it
Mm-hmm.
was giving me nightmares. You know what I mean? So I stopped. I was taking Seroquel as well. You know what I mean? Those are antidepressants. So but I stuck with martazepine. But yeah,
It's crazy to go through all of those different medications because, of course, speaking with different people with mental health issues and knowing people with mental health issues, as in myself being on an antidepressant and an anxiety medication, sometimes it can take several different medications to find that one that kind of agrees with you, and it doesn't necessarily take it away. It's what works best. I also like what you said about the weed thing. I'm not against weed. I just, as long as a person waits until they're an adult, then hey, you
yeah,
do. Been there, done that. I had my time. But I think it was important, y'all, if you heard what he said, that the weed does not take it away, it numbs it. And that's not actually a fix to what the triggers are. It's just something to numb. So it only is a temporary fix for the moment. And I'm glad that you said that. And as you all heard him say, he's trying to find another coping method, as an example, going to the gym. So I think that's really good. That would be a really good one. Do you feel that, or did you experience any childhood trauma that you can remember, because you mentioned starting to experience these feelings at around 8 years old, if I'm not 8, 9, third grade.
yeah.
Do you feel like, or was there any childhood trauma that you can remember that may have contributed to these feelings starting to come about?
Um, you see, when you ask me that question out loud, because it's a lot. Like, you know what I mean? We all got a story, and I've seen a lot. You know what I mean? I took in a lot. Abuse. From my mother. Um, just as small as me not knowing my homework answers. You know what I mean? Or not knowing the answer to my homework, and I'm getting beat and told you would never be shit. In life. You would. This is. You know what I mean? Um, that was traumatic. I'm 25 and I still remember
Absolutely.
that. You know what I mean? Watching, being outside playing in the front yard, and my dad's house is getting shut up as we playing in the yard. You know what I mean? Seeing my dad jump the pole so he can, hit the dirt. You know what I mean? Um, things like that. My house being raided. You know what I mean? Like I can keep going. But it's just like I didn't experience a lot of trauma. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those things, are key factors with my mental health as an adult right now.
Mm-hmm. I think I don't think, I keep saying that. I know you acknowledging those things, of course, they happen to you. So
Yeah.
we can sometimes tuck those things away. But the fact that you can speak about that, acknowledge that those things definitely contributed to mental health issues because any mental health issue, sometimes there's a chemical imbalance, which is just of the brain, as mental health is, period. But traumatic issues as a child definitely contribute to who we are once we become adults. And if we don't first acknowledge those issues and then deal with them, then they just sit and grow and grow and grow. And then we pass them on to our kids because we never really got help for our traumatic issues that we actually experienced. And even myself, I had to realize, my childhood, although for the most part it was really good, there were things that happened to me as a child that I didn't really acknowledge, nor did I want to acknowledge them. But then I started to realize they're spilling over into my adult life. And so even myself, I had to go get help for those to learn coping methods. So with that being said, speaking of coping methods, are you in therapy?
Yes, I'm actually gonna meet with my therapist on Monday. I just started with this therapist, but my grandmother, me and her had a discussion, and we feel like the way to solve mental health with any black person is with a black therapist. Um, and I felt like I can give her a try. The therapist that I'm meeting with on Monday, but if I'm not, I'm just gonna go with the number that she gave me, and I'm just gonna meet with the black therapist. You know what I mean? Because it's different. I want somebody that understands me. You know what I mean? To understand what I've been through, understand our culture. You know what I mean? And that's not gonna judge me. You know what I mean? Like you said, this is a free space. I would like that with a therapist. And you don't get that with most therapists. You don't get that with most people. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That was really big to me. I am a people person, so I'm all for everybody. But if you look at my skin, you see brown. And so I am a brown person, and I definitely can relate to that. This is no offense to anybody else, it just is what it is. We all go through different things, and even walking around with brown skin, our experience in life is just different. It's a known fact. I really don't care what nobody say or think about it. It's the truth. Especially you all being a black man, you all have it the worst. And that's not to make excuses for you all, for the ones that don't try hard or do all they can do to succeed in life, but that's going on another path. But nevertheless, you all have it the worst to me. And so I think that that is really big to say, because I do believe that there could be some judgment. But when you go to that safe space and it's one and the same, as far as going to a black therapist, some of the things that you can experience, if they haven't experienced themselves, they definitely know another who has experienced those same things. And that's not to say that white people don't have it, but I know the black plight is just different. It's just simple as that. It's the truth. So I can understand that. I think the bigger thing is for you going to therapy is not trying to take nothing from your grandmother, because I actually agree with her. But at this point, you need a therapist that's going to help you with your mental issues.
Exactly.
Preferably black, but hey, if that don't work, then we're gonna move on to the
No,
right.
no, exactly.
What are some coping methods that you yourself have learned throughout your years of going to therapy that you currently use?
Um, really just listening to music. I do go to the gym, but I'm not consistent with it. You know what I mean? That's another coping mechanism. I love the gym. Or even just like working a job like that's involved using my hands. Like that takes a lot off me. You know what I mean? Coming home from, oh, I love that. Um, I can say a lot, really. My kids, spending time with them. Um, I can say a lot, a lot.
How do you deal with the kids when you are in a crisis, like when you're in the middle of like one of those breakdowns where the anxiety and depression is like taking over, those moments where it's like you don't want to get out the bed type feelings. Like how do you deal with the kids? Are they with you full time?
Just my one of my daughters is my other two kids. They're in two different households with their moms, but
That's what's up,
Um,
man. Good job.
Yeah, but when I am like, okay, with my daughter, like when I am going through things like that, I just try to love on her the most I can. Especially with like if I'm on like you see my videos on TikTok, like if I'm going through one of those, I try to love her the most I can because I know that whatever I'm going through or whatever I do in life, my daughter's gonna love me. You know what I mean? No matter who don't love me, no matter who's not there, I can count on her, or count on my three, you know what I mean? Especially my son. He didn't been through a lot with me, you know what I mean? So
So,
I try to call him as much as possible, but yeah.
what is his age? Like, is he
Uh,
starting to know what's going on?
oh yeah, for sure. He's gonna be 6 in March. So he's 5 years old right now.
So he has been explained that daddy, sometimes goes through things and so he gets it. Do you
Yeah,
feel that with kids, so let's say your child knows that and you're going through a crisis at the moment, you're having like a breakdown. Do you feel that it could be detrimental to our kids to, because some of them, when we're going through that, like they'll try to take care of us, but they're
yeah,
at that young age where they just need to keep their innocence and be kids. Do you feel that when we're going through something like that, or in this case, that's a setback to your child, or could be?
yeah, for sure. Because that's just off of me just seeing my mom going through her mental health crisis. You know what I mean? And that was like some certain events like that could be traumatic. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like that can set a kid back because just seeing the things that my mom did when she was going through her phases in life with her mental health, it set me back. You know what I mean? And I feel like if, like you said, if you don't get no help for it, you gonna mess your kids up. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? You gonna mess your kids up tremendously.
True. Your mother had mental health issues as well. Do you feel like it's genetic?
Oh yeah, I do. I
Mm-hmm.
do.
What were you diagnosed with? Like, what was the official diagnosis from a doctor?
So the last time I was diagnosed in Houston, and they diagnosed me with BPD, depressive,
Explain to everybody before you move on. Explain to everybody what BPD is.
bipolar depressive disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was diagnosed with anxiety. I was diagnosed with depression, but it was what they said it was major depressive disorder. You know what I mean? Because it was just high. My numbers was just too high. You know what I mean? And that was it. But those three things. But oh yeah, and then PTSD. You know what I mean? Just off of just seeing different things,
Mm-hmm.
going through different things. Like yeah, that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That for sure. That's a big one.
How can you distinguish, like, just being, a patient and not the doctor? Can you distinguish what diagnosis you're going through as you're going through, like the bipolar disorder? What was it? Because I thought you meant borderline personality disorder.
Oh no, 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 no,
So it's
no,
not BPD, it's
no,
B.
no.
What was it? B what?
It's BP. I was basically saying bipolar. Basically, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is the difference in the bipolar and the depression? How can you distinguish which one is coming on when you're going through it?
Yeah, so like the depression, when I'm feeling depression, I'm just feeling down. I'm feeling hopeless. You know what I mean? I'm feeling like all out of luck. You know what I mean? That's when I'm feeling depressed. My bipolar is like when I'm up 1 minute, the next minute I could be all angry. You know what I mean? I could be this person 1 minute, and then I could be 5 minutes. I could be this person. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I
I,
really get that from my mom, and I really feel like that's genetic for real.
so I do agree with the same thing. I do believe that it can be genetic as well. With depression, have you ever experienced anybody that'll tell you, especially you being a man, like fight, like don't be mentally weak, like push through it? Not
Yeah.
those people that have not experienced that, they really don't get it. It's not something that you can tell your brain all you want to fight it, but the brain literally takes over. And it thinks on its own. It instantly goes to negative thoughts. Do you agree with me?
No, I agree for sure.
Hmm. What do
For
you
sure.
think? Like just telling people that are out here listening to this, like, wouldn't you tell them like stop it? Like it's not somebody nobody wants this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, like just hearing people be like, like if you were trying to vent to somebody and I talked to somebody, they're like, we all going through something. You know what I mean? So that's not like that. I'm like, that's not what I want to hear. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
I'm like, everybody, yeah, we all going through something, but everybody know how to cope differently. You know what I mean? Everybody's not strong as you. You know what I mean? And hearing things like that can really set a person back. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because it makes a person feel like you don't care. You know what I mean? It makes a person feel like you know what I mean? Like their voice is not able to be heard. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And every time they want to open up, or every time they want somebody to listen, this is what they got to hear. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's not right.
Not.
My
And
mama always said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing
right.
at all.
And that is so stinking true. And the thing is, you're dismissing those people. Well, if they're coming to you and confiding, apparently they feel like you care about them. So when you do that, you're dismissing their feelings.
Yeah,
As you said, like clearly we all are going through things, but what I'm going through at this moment is different than your average life
exactly.
situation. Like clearly it's a mental issue. That is totally different. That really bothers me when people make mental health patients or clients or people that are going through a mental health crisis. It really ruffles my feathers when people try to downplay it and make it seem like somebody's just being weak and they can push through it like it's just your typical life situation.
Exactly.
It's not. So y'all out there, stop it. Just stop it if you're one of those people. Do you those people, have you learned to separate yourself from them?
No, yeah, for sure. Like even with family, like I separate myself with family. Be like, if they like, they people know what you got going on, especially if you post about it, or they know that you've been going through this for years. If they don't check on you, I'm separating myself. You know what I mean? Especially if you know I'm going through it. Especially if I'm reaching out for help, or I'm reaching out. Yeah, I might not be reaching out to you. I can be reaching
Okay.
out to the public. You know what I mean? And if you see that I'm not, and you see that I don't have nobody, and you still not reaching out to me, I separate myself. And
I'm glad
so when people
you
call me, I don't answer my phone, because
yep,
it's just like, you can't help me. You know what I mean? You don't want to help me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You're not beneficial
Mhm.
to what I have going on. This is detrimental. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of reaching out to people. I'm tired of asking for help. You know what I mean? That's why I ask for the public. That's why I'm asking for the world. You know what I mean? I don't
That,
have anybody. You know what I mean? And that's what you do when you don't have anybody.
yeah,
So
I get that. And people tend to look at things from their perspective and not listen to what you're actually telling them. And when you really love somebody and or you care about that person, you hear what they are saying. You're not putting your own spin on it or looking at it from your lens. You're looking at it from what they're telling you. And you have to cater to that when you really love somebody and just be there for them. Not everybody wants your opinion. Some people want an ear and empathy, so it really bothers me when somebody tries to put their own spin on things as if you just want to feel like this. Mental health is very real.
exactly.
So this last situation that you recently spoke about, you being hospitalized, I was so proud of you that you actually went and you have the ability to recognize when it's more than what you can handle without being hospitalized. And that's what made me reach out to you because I'm like, this dude is that's good. Like you're strong in my mind, and in my eyes, because when you can do that, I think that's very strong. I don't find it weak. I find it strong. What were you going through that made you say, you know what, this is more than I can handle. I need to be hospitalized for this.
It brought me back to like when I was living in Houston. Like that's not my first time being hospitalized.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But the last few times I was hospitalized by my mom calling, you know what I mean, and getting me the help. You know what I mean? And I could say I felt like I was back in those days in 2016 and 15 where I was just going through a midlife crisis. You know what I mean? I just needed to get back right. You know what I mean? I needed to get evaluated. You know what I mean? You need to talk to somebody. And Yeah.
That's really good. And I think being in that atmosphere, the reason I think for hospitalization in general is to be in the atmosphere where you have 24/7 support and help. And because have you ever self-harmed?
Oh no, for sure. No, for sure. I didn't try in 2022. I was on Facebook Live, you know what I mean, and I tried. I didn't try. Well, I attempted to. I was off a bridge,
Mhm,
and somebody called the police. Whoever was watching my live, they realized what bridge I was on, and the police pulled up,
mhm.
and it was a white officer that pulled up on me, you know, and he talked me down off of the bridge, and he he hugged me. You know what I mean? He gave me a hug, and that's when I knew that ours just ain't bad. You know what I mean? Our police officers is not bad. You know what I mean? He gave me a hug, and I sat on that bridge and I talked to him. You know what I mean? And yeah,
That I love to hear stuff like that. And I know going through whatever feelings that come about that push you to that limit where I just don't want to do this no more. Because honestly, I think that people don't realize with mental health, it hurts mentally. It's not a physical pain per se, it's a mental pain. And it's one that you really can't fight through. And when you get to the point where you were, when you tried to attempt that, that's when you know a person has they really can't take it anymore. And at that moment, you feel like that's the only outlet. But I'm glad that a higher being intervened through the police officer or through the public actually. And then they in turn got the police to come. So I'm going to say him, but you all out there as well that help because you are meant to be here. Like you are, like you're the one, you're helping somebody else. And I know that when somebody's going through it, or when you're going through it in a moment, you don't see that. But your story is really helping the next person because there's a person your age and younger than you, and even some my age, that'll look at you as their strength. So, my advice to you, when those moments do arise, as much as you can control it to fight the good fight, man. Like keep hospitalizing yourself as much as possible. You got these kids out here that need their daddy, you know. And so I want you to keep fighting the good fight. Like you got this. And now you got another person in your corner that you can call that won't judge you, which is me. So you're very welcome. What made you decide to use social media as that outlet and go to the public to speak out?
Mhm. Because I'm tired of cause okay, like social media has always been my thing. Like in Minnesota, I've always been a social media type of dude. I've always been known on social media, but it's always been not for like good things. You know what I mean? So it'd be like probably like some drama or some funny stuff, that people probably don't like, or So I was just tired of like using the social media for those type of things. And I was tired of being known as this type of guy, and I was really doing those things just to hide from my pain, to keep me laughing from crying, you know what I mean? I'm laughing to keep from crying. And
Yeah.
at that point I couldn't hold it no more, you know what I mean? And then I just let it out, because I feel like I didn't have nobody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I went to TikTok instead of Facebook because Facebook is local. You know what I mean? When I tried to jump off the bridge, I had a few hundred people on that live telling me to jump. You know what I mean? After that situation happened, I had people laughing at me, so I knew not to go on Facebook. So I went to TikTok, and because I really needed help. You
Yeah.
know, Facebook would have made me kill myself. So I didn't know I didn't even know the outcome that TikTok was gonna come. You know what I mean? So I was just literally crying out for help. You know what I mean? I didn't just asking for help. Um,
That's sad.
yeah,
Glad that you doing what you're doing because I promise you, you're helping someone. I just find it sad that somebody would laugh or mock somebody going through a mental health crisis. That goes to show what type of world this is. And I'm not even going to say world, what type of people they are or those people are. Because who laughs? at somebody experiencing something like that. Like that's not cool. We all deserve to be here. We're here.
Yeah.
So you deserve to be here. Um, that's really sad instead of being those people that reached out to make sure that you are still here today, or that at least reached out to make sure that they attempted to make sure you're still here. And you are because you're meant to be here. Believe it or not, guys, this guy is a comedian. So where did that part of you come from? Like, do you do shows? Like, man, where can
Um,
everybody come see you?
me, I just call myself a comedian because I like to make people laugh on social media. I like to do skits, you know what I mean? I like to do improv, you know what I mean? I want to do stand up, but I really feel like I'm not ready, you know what I mean? I'm not ready, you know what I mean? But I mean, I tried it. I mean, my cousin, he does local little gigs in the shows where he rap and I asked him, like, hey, help me out with a little gig for comedy, and he told me to come with, some material. And I can't. I got some material, but it's just I've seen other comedians go from the internet from doing skits to going to big crowds and it not working well. You know what I mean? So I've been trying to boost myself up, trying to get my fan base up. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It came from me being a comedian. Really, just came from me just being like a goofy person and all. That's just me being myself.
Mhm.
I'm comfortable with being myself. You know what I mean? I'm not scared to express myself through my goofiness.
That's good.
Um,
That's good.
I don't care. I'll do anything to make somebody laugh. That's just
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? If you hang with me long enough, I'll probably make you laugh. So it's just natural. So
Yeah. And the thing about that is, first I want to say, man, forget that. You need to go ahead out there and do it. You need to go do the stand up and at least see, go put yourself out there. Second of all, you know what you remind me of when you say I'll do anything to make somebody laugh? Martin Lawrence. Like he literally, excuse me, can play different characters. He can do stand up. He's just to me, he's funny as hell. Like
yeah,
I
for
mean, I
sure.
look at Martin Lawrence, and I just start laughing. So I mean, he hasn't done a lot of anything like most recently, but I probably know every episode of Martin, all of his stand-ups. When I tell you that dude makes me laugh as soon as I see his face. It's just something simple as the facial expression he can make. So I mean, you need to put yourself out there and you know, I find it now that you're getting help, like you using the experiences you've been through to make people laugh because you can find humor in it because you're getting help. So I'm pretty sure you probably use yourself as the butt of your joke sometime.
Yeah, no, for a lot of times. I'm not gonna
Right. So I
lie.
mean, man, you need to go ahead out there and put yourself on stage, and you probably are going to be amazed at the outcome, but you won't know if you won't
I
do.
would try. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Now forget that. You got me telling you now, you need to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I'm
You
finna,
need
I'm
to do
finna, because we got these like bars out here now in Minnesota, Minneapolis. I'm in Minneapolis, so we got these bars, or I say like hookah lounges, where it's like 420 friendly. You know what I mean? I've talked to them before, and they let me know like I can come and do, because they have open mic. You know what I mean? So I can come and do comedy and wherever I want to do. And I just been swaying away from it, but I think I'm gonna give it a shot though, because it's been
it.
eating at me. It's been eating at me.
You won't know unless you go ahead and put yourself out there. And then you either going to be a hit and you're going to be going back, or you're going to know, all right, I know I don't need to go in that direction. I need to stay doing XYZ or try the next thing. You
Yeah.
never know where you're going to go. I tell you what, you trying to do what you did on the bridge and being saved, that already tells me you're meant to be here. Like, because you clearly could have jumped, like no thought behind it, just jump, but it didn't happen. You need to use the fact that you're still here to go for what you want in life. You need to go ahead and do that. And I'm not in Minneapolis, but you be online. I'm gonna support you. You got somebody in your corner right now. I'm a fan. So
Thank you,
make it
man.
happen, buddy. Make it happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please. Thank you. And I'm your elder. I like the last. Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
I'll get it from being like in Houston, man.
Good. I like that. That's
But
respect.
cause I ain't gonna lie, like it's so like when you say like how when you was talking about like how can y'all like how can people laugh or mock somebody's time up north is kind of different. Like ain't no respect up here. I mean, it's a lot of that's everywhere, but it's no respect.
Mhm.
It's no remorse out here. It's evil. Like it's like a black cloud in the Midwest. You know what I mean? All people want to do is just hurt and
I
kill. You know
hate
what I
it.
mean? Down south, it's a whole different vibe. You know what I
That's
mean? Yeah,
why
you
I
got the
moved here.
ruckus. You got the ruckus. You got the bad crowd, but they still even got hearts. You know
They
what I
do. That's
mean?
why I moved to North Carolina from the DMV because I don't want my children, my daughters growing up with that mentality because that's where I come from, where people don't uplift one another. Not everybody, because I mean, people gonna watch this. Well, Sean, you're not talking about me. If it doesn't apply, then don't worry about it. I'm not talking about you. But for the most part, people, it's like crabs in a barrel, kick you down so I can climb out. I don't like that. I'm all about everybody, man. Like if you make it, I'll be next. You know what I'm saying? Or reach down and grab my arm too and pull me out.
Exactly.
I'm more about that. So I am all about like uplifting everyone, especially you, because you are coming after me. Like my job now at my age is to make sure that you all are good. And so that's why I do this to let you know that, dude, you matter first and you got this because you're going to be the ones that are taking care of my generation. You will take over after me. So I feel like that is my job. I have one last question for you before I let you go for the evening. Will you promise to always spread peace and love in this world?
Yeah, I promise.
Good, good. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you accepting my invite. And please keep fighting a good fight. You know that you're meant to be here and get your tail on the damn stage.
Oh well. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.